2024 Nissan Rogue. The latest Nissan Rogue is the best version of itself yet. It's practical, fuel-efficient, and big on standard features and driver aids. It's a solid all-rounder. But compared to other small SUVs, the Rogue has more cabin noise, a less refined ride, and an increasingly dated infotainment system. What's new? Refreshed exterior and interior design. The available 12.3-inch touchscreen is now powered by Google built-in apps, slightly revised equipment offerings for SL, and Platinum Grade's part of the third Rogue generation introduced for 2021. Overview. Despite its name, the 2024 Nissan Rogue is not a mischievous rebel in a conservative class of SUVs. In reality, it's more of a middle-of-the-road choice that offers more in the way of value than excitement or personality, and that broad appeal is likely why it remains a popular choice for small SUV. The 2024 model looks to be even more enticing thanks to the updated styling and refreshed interior. On the outside, the grille gains new horizontal bars, redesigned front and rear bumpers, and new wheel options. The actual look of the cabin is relatively unchanged, though the SL grade now receives the 12.3-inch touchscreen, digital instrument panel, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and wireless charging pad that used to be optional or a trim upgrade for last year's SL. Even with the enhancements in store for 2024, we think you'd be better served by our favorites in the small SUV class. These include the Mazda CX-50, Honda CR-V, and Kia Sportage. Check out our expert rating below to see how the Rogue stacks up against these class leaders. The latest Nissan Rogue is the best version of itself yet. It's practical, fuel-efficient, and big on standard features and driver aids. It's a solid all-rounder, but compared to other small SUVs, the Rogue has more cabin noise, a less refined ride, and an increasingly dated infotainment system. How does the Rogue drive? The turbocharged 3-cylinder engine is surprisingly punchy. It makes plenty of power for passing and merging. It also delivers a respectably quick sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a little more than 8 seconds. Unfortunately, in routine driving, the engine and transmission don't always respond smoothly when you press on the accelerator. The powertrain can feel slow to respond at first, and then lurchy and surging soon after. Around corners, the Rogue is capable and composed, but not particularly fun. The steering doesn't give you much feel for the road. There's also a noticeable dead spot in the steering when you're driving straight, especially at city speeds. So it's easy to drift if you're not going fast enough to use the Rogue's lane centering system. How comfortable is the Rogue? The Rogue is a comfortable SUV in most ways. The seats are soft and feel like they mold to your body, which is great on long drives. The front seat's only notable weakness is the slightly forward placement of headrests that some taller drivers might find uncomfortable. The Rogue also has available triple-zone climate control, which is a rare feature among small SUVs compared to top competitors. The Rogue's ride feels busier and less refined on less than smooth roads. We felt a lot of the rough edges of road imperfections, and the Rogue had more side-to-side motions over uneven pavement than we'd expect. How's the interior? Getting into the Rogue is easy thanks to lightweight doors and big openings. The cabin is airy, making the Rogue seem like a larger vehicle than it actually is. The tall, wide windows provide an expansive view out and contribute to the sense of space. The thick rear roof pillars block your rearward view slightly, but several driver aids are present to help eliminate blind spots. The interior layout is pleasant and cleanly designed overall, but taller drivers may push the limits of the driving position's adjustability, and it has less rear legroom than some rivals. How's the tech? The Rogue offers a great set of standard infotainment features and driver aids. In higher trims, you get a big touchscreen, a digital gauge cluster, and a head-up display. Along with wireless connectivity for Apple CarPlay phone integration, the technology is mostly easy to use, but the menus and commands for the digital gauge cluster have a bit of a learning curve. Also, the voice controls are rigid and occasionally get confused. The driver aids work well in most situations, although they have some trouble in stop-and-go traffic. And the Rogue offers both lane centering and rear automatic braking on top of the usual suite of features.